Joe from RX Healthy Habits, and in today's video I want to go through and cover an important area that you're going to want to monitor and keep track of, and that's your heart rate. You want to find a way to measure your heart rate during exercise, and it's going to pay big dividends and getting you to understand just what range you want to be in, your target heart rate, and also your maximum heart rate. So the objectives I have today are this. I want to go and talk about what's your age-specific maximum heart rate and target heart rate for exercise. I want to cover why it's important for you to monitor your heart rate during exercise. And lastly, how are you going to go about monitoring it during your exercise program and maybe from week to week. So let's dig into it. But first, I just want to mention, we're here on this video today because my wife and I have a YouTube channel called RX Healthy Habits. We're both pharmacists, and basically we decided to start this channel and create these video series, and there's multiple available and coming. They're going to be dealing with one important issue that we had, and kind of like our passion. We, as pharmacists, we just wanted to help people by giving them a navigation to develop their own self-health care. And that's a key term, self-health care. I think too often, as pharmacists, we started to recognize that many people weren't taking care of themselves and weren't following any healthy habits that were leading to them being on some drug medication therapies that far too many medications and far too early in their life. If they just followed some healthy habits, then they would have been able to mitigate some of that in some cases. In some cases, they might have been able to eliminate them being on some therapies. But nonetheless, we're here today because we want to talk about something it's an important habit, and that is exercise or activity. So let's talk about measuring your heart rate. First thing, let's talk about what's your maximum heart rate for your age. Now, this is an important thing to determine because it's going to help you to determine your target heart rate during exercise. So let's talk about this. Your maximum heart rate by age is calculated, and this is kind of a rough estimate, but it's very good because it's simple and it's easy to teach people, and it's easy for somebody like me to understand. Basically, I take the number 220 and minus my age, and that is my maximum heart rate. Anyway, maximum heart rate for your age. So obviously, if you're 20 years old, 220 minus 20 is 200 beats per minute. That's your maximum. If you're 40, it's 180. So, and so on and so on. So now here's the key. What's your target heart rate when you're exercising? What should it be? That depends. Now, your target heart rate should, during moderate to intense activity, should be in a range from 50 to 70. So that's moderate. So 50 for me, you think about my maximum is what, 160? So 50 of that would be anything above 80 or 90. That's a beginning part of moderate. That would be like maybe walking on a flat area, but not really a brisk walk, okay? But 50 to 70%, that's moderate. So 70% would be when I get up in the range of, say, 129. That's considered... when I'm in that range, I'm considered to be in moderate intensity. Now, what about more vigorous physical activity? That's at about 70 to 85%. So 70 to 85% of my maximum heart rate. So when I'm out on my cycle, I try to keep my range around 135 beats per minute, 132 beats per minute. I don't like to drop below 125. Now, that's me. That's my goal. I like to have a little bit more moderate to more vigorous. And when I'm on my bike, I find that sometimes if I'm just pedaling along and not thinking about it, I drop down into the moderate intensity level. So my watch, usually by looking down at my heart rate, says, hey, you got to pump a little bit more, buddy. So now, the other thing is when you're monitoring your heart rate, when you're doing some anaerobic exercise, this is where you're going to kick that up to maybe 80 to 95% of your maximum heart rate. But you typically only hold this for 10 to 15 seconds. As you get more fit, you might be able to go up to a minute at that range of 80 to 95%, depending on your fitness level. But that gives you an idea of some of the ranges. And I'll tell you what, for me, I have to constantly be asking myself, hey, when I'm out exercising, what am I really looking to accomplish? And I'm looking to accomplish a little bit more vigorous activity level. Now, that's me now, like I said. So now, for maximum benefits, what I'd recommend is both moderate and vigorous activity in your routine. So when you choose an exercise program, think about, moderate is a good place to be, but you also want to get to a vigorous activity level. And again, before you start any exercise program that's going to be anything that's beyond moderate, you need to check with your healthcare provider to make sure you're fit for exercise. That is very important. And as a pharmacist, I can't stress that enough. You have to check with your provider before you start an exercise program. And I'm just going to throw this out there. If you're really new at it and you got some health challenges, I think you should probably seek out a physical trainer, somebody really skilled and knowledgeable in this, so you don't do anything to hurt yourself. But also, someone's going to help you teach you how to sustain. So if you're just getting started and just getting active, I would recommend that you try to shoot for about 150 minutes per week. Now, if you can't do that, think about it. 150 minutes per week is really walking for 30 minutes, 5 days a week. If that's too much, then start out just saying, you know what, I'm just going to shoot for 3 days a week, 30 minutes. That's good. Whatever the starting point is, that's where you start. And the starting point is the one that you set. You got to set a reachable schedule that you can do week in, week out. So just go slow. Find something that works for you if you're just starting out. And then you gradually want to keep increasing your time as you get stronger. And you want to eat, exercise, activity, thermogenesis. They talk about a range of 150 to 300 minutes per week. You really do want to work up to 300 minutes per week. And that's going to be an hour, 5 days a week. Sounds like a lot now, but work yourself up there, because the health benefits increase as you go from that 150 per week, or actually from any minutes per week, up to the 300. They just keep increasing. So here's the big takeaway from the whole thing. Move more, with more intensity, and sit less. If there's any advice I can give you, it's that right there. Now here's another takeaway. For maximum benefits, you need to include both moderate and vigorous intensity in your routine, and you need to include strength training, and some stretching. So it's down the road, eventually you want to make sure you incorporate this in too, because this is going to pay additional benefits when you start doing some strength training. And it can be started out slow. Don't go crazy. Don't hurt yourself. You don't want to get any muscle strains or pulls or damages. So that's important. Now, number 3, and this is the last point, and then we'll wrap up. How are you going to measure your heart rate? Now, this is important. Now, you know there's the way to do it on your wrist. If you put your two index fingers right below your thumb, you can usually find your pulse right there. Then there's also the carotid one that's by your trachea. You can do that. Now, if you got something to time with, you can put the timer out for 15 seconds, and then you take that number of beats per minute that you feel, you count those over the 15 seconds, multiply by 4. There's some other things you can do, but that's two of the most simplest that a lot of the EMTs use too. So, but that's simple. If you're doing exercise and you want to check your pulse, that's the easiest and simplest, and I guess no cost way to do it. The other way I'd recommend is consider some wearables. There's a lot of ones out there that are on the market. They start some of the lower end devices that just monitor your pulse and a few other things. They start in the $10, $11, $12 range, believe it or not. At some of the big box stores. Online, there's also some other options, but the wearables like the Samsung Health, Apple Watch, those are a little bit more pricey. There's the Amazon Halo Health, again, a little bit more pricey. You can get whatever you want, and there's so many different ranges to meet everybody's budget. I recommend it just because I like tracking not only just my exercise, but also my non-exercise activities during the day. And I like to see it over the week and sometimes over the month. So that's something that you may want to invest in after you start exercising. But even before you start, find a way to start measuring that. Track it during your workout to hold yourself accountable. And this is important. The reason why you want to track your heart rate is you want to see how you're doing. And you'll find that sometimes you think you're really doing a lot of exercise activity, really putting it out there, and you look down and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm in the lower end of the range. So, and then you want to get excited when you're monitoring your heart rate and you start to see it decrease over time when you're doing different activities. And you say to yourself, you know what, I'm getting more fit. So it's kind of exciting. So I just want to encourage you a couple things. Watch some of the other videos in our series because I think they're really going to help you on our YouTube channel, RX Healthy Habits. Press the subscribe button, because if you subscribe, there's going to be a whole bunch of different series coming out. We got some really great things planned in other categories besides activity and healthy motion. We got some other things coming that are going to be really fun and you're going to really enjoy. And then I also recommend, if you got some questions or comments, put them in the comment section on this video. But also you can email me at joe joerxhh@gmail.com. That's joerxhh@gmail.com. And lastly, if you're ready to dive deeper and you really are ready to begin a health journey because you really are sick and tired of being sick and tired, we offer a science-based comprehensive program that we followed that's step-by-step, extremely easy to follow. And what we did is we jumped on board when we decided that we needed to take control of our health. And after seeing other people for years not controlling their health, not even trying to take control of their health, we decided to jump on board. So now we use this program to get fit ourselves, but now we pay it forward by guiding and coaching others. So email me. We can set up a consultation. Might be for you, might not be. The only way to find out is the email if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired and want to take control. So anyway, that's it for now. Looking forward to talking to you on the next video where we talk about some different things to consider about you developing your own exercise program. And I think one of the bonuses I'll leave you with on this video that's going to lead in the next video, my personal experience has been that unless you find something you really enjoy doing when it comes to exercise, it's going to be a lot tougher. So anyway, see you next time.